What's up, Bears fans? Welcome in bye-week Tuesday.
I'm in such a great mood today. I can't even tell you how good of a mood I'm in. I'm in really a good mood. Good to see both of you and you, Greg Braggs, first guy in the chat today. Love you.
Such a good mood. You don't let Adam read the sponsor.
Oh, just stop.
You had to let everyone know he's in a...
Stop.
Carm's Mood is brought to you by DraftKings.
Oh.
Use code CHGO when you sign up. Get $150 in free bets. Is that why you're in a good mood?
That's not why I'm in a good mood.
Good times on DraftKings last night?
Nah, I'm just so happy to see you. You're a ray of sunshine with your beautiful yellow... Neon, gold.
I mean, it's tennis ball color. You should know that.
Tennis ball, which, hey, thank you for saying that. I didn't mention it yesterday. Should have mentioned it. I know you wanted to start the show this way.
Don't care.
Well, don't say that right now because this is at least a moment of just heartness. Nick Bollettieri passed away. 91 years old. One of the greatest tennis coaches. Agassi, Courier, a zillion kids who all wanted to go to Bollettieri as a kid. Great man. Saw him at the U.S. Open about 5 years ago. He was super nice. I love Nick Bollettieri, and R.I.P. So,
and that's why Adam's wearing that sweatshirt.
That's why. He didn't know it, but that's why he's wearing it.
Which is why I do care.
Yeah. There you go. Kirschenbaum, exactly, for Kirschenbaum.
That's where I thought he was going with that.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying I don't care about.
Kirschenbaum was inspired by Bollettieri at some point in his career. I guarantee it.
By the way, that stupid Monday night game, the very last play cost me a four-leg parlay.
Yes, I lost $600 on the very last play.
$600. Okay, I didn't do that.
Wait, what was the very last play?
I one of my legs was Brady under 1.5 TDs.
Okay.
Ouch.
So just them scoring the touchdown?
Yeah. I mean, also like the first touchdown they scored, just give it to Fournette. Why are you running? Why are you throwing a pass at the 1 yard line? Come on.
Also, how about you just run one more yard? Was it Kamara or Ingram? It was Ingram.
Oh, yeah.
Ingram, run one more yard, get the first down. Or Taysom Hill, just catch the ball.
Hey, he got popped on that play, though. He got popped.
Catch the ball.
Do you want to see the
that was a dime by Andy Dalton.
It was beautiful.
Do you want to see the updated tank standings?
Yes.
This
is awesome. Amazing. What a debut we're making here on the CHGO Bears Podcast.
There you go.
That's great.
The tank standings.
With the badass Ryan Poles picture, too.
Oh, that was impressive. Amazing. Love it.
I mean, honestly.
I'll say this. I made that for the Blackhawks, but apparently we have tanks around this whole office now. So I'm going to soon make a Bulls version, unfortunately, which is
I was going to say, basically the whole city. New Orleans winning last night would have been great, but way to go not closing that game out.
Well, seriously, look at the life of the Eagles and the Lions right now. Detroit's like the best 5-7 team in the history of the NFL. Matthew Stafford is out for the year. Jared Goff is throwing for 800 yards a week. The Lions have a very interesting game this week with the Vikings. They're my plucky.
The Lions are favored.
I know.
What the hell?
Hey man, they're playing good football. Everything's turning up Detroit. Gold, and I might become a Lions fan the rest of the year. Is that?
Oh my gosh, where's Don Burr?
Don Burr's
happening?
Oh no, he's gonna.
Burr, I'm with you, buddy.
Oh no.
I mean, what else should we be doing the rest of the year? Seriously, why not root for the Lions at this point? Who's with me? Let's go Lions. That wasn't supposed to happen on the show today. That wasn't why I was in a good mood. But
you're in a good mood about the Lions being favored.
Well,
against.
I like underdogs in life. I've rooted for the Northwestern Wildcats since I came out of the womb. The Detroit Lions are definitely in that club.
Yeah.
And so are, unfortunately,
They started the club.
They might have started the club.
They may have started the club.
They might have.
I'm not there. I'm not.
You know why the Vikings, by the way, Hoge? Do you know why they're perhaps not favored this week? Which speaks to your language. Do you know?
No.
Mars Blackman?
I don't.
Well, let me pull up a stat for you, buddy. The Minnesota Vikings. Do you know what they rank in Football Outsiders DVOA?
You're not allowed to give this stat.
Oh no,
I knew it.
The Vikings are 20th in football in Outsiders DVOA on the defensive side of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, they're 18th in offensive EPA per drive. That's per True Media. They're 17th in defensive EPA. If you can break down EPA versus DVOA, I'd love you to just
EPA is actually pretty easy. It's expected points added.
Yeah, what does that mean?
It means on any given play, are you helping your team score points or not? It's like the most simple idea you could possibly have.
How do they come up with that? This particular play, it's a 0.56 chance that you're going to score.
We have Justin Fields on the play. That
doesn't-
EPA is probably.
Listen, buddy, just because you went to Iowa and can't figure that stuff out doesn't.
Oh, yeah. Settle down, bro. I'll mute your mic. There's three of
there
us.
you go. We got three here.
2.5.
3-on-1 today.
Hey,
Two and a half.
Chat, what do you like more, DVOA or EPA? What keeps you up at night?
But you
Let's go.
you didn't let me finish, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just because you went to Iowa and you went to Iowa and you went to Iowa and I went to
Sort of.
Wisconsin and basically everyone else didn't go to MIT, Harvard, whatever, where these people who can actually quantify this stuff can figure out and put it into a formula, which how many points per play are you adding right now?
Let me ask you something. When you got into this business, when you had the dream, when you showed up at WGN Radio looking for an internship
WGN?
in 2008 and you met the intern coordinator who was me.
Was that your title?
No, it was more like Dave Edit said, can you just do these interviews now because I don't want to do them anymore and they're going to be working with you. And I said, absolutely, Mr. Cat, I will handle this. And then did you want to get into the business at that point because you wanted to talk about EPA and DVOA? Lawrence, Hoge, Moreano,
Don't look at me.
Casey.
Why are you yelling at me first?
Luke. Because you love to jump in on this thing. You're a jump inner. You're a jump in.
Jumper inner?
You're a jumper inner, Benedetto.
Okay.
Wait, so what was the Vikings EPA?
The Vikings EPA was 17th offensively.
Okay.
Hang on. Let me get it right.
They are 20th in total DVOA, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, they're 9-0 in games decided by 8 points or less. Not sustainable team. So if you want to be optimistic, Bears, the Packers suck. They're going the wrong way. Minnesota's having a fluke year, and the Bears are about to unleash $125 million in cap space plus all the draft picks. Bears Super Bowl 10-7, plucky Bears 2023. Bears.
Okay, now counterpoint.
Yeah,
you saw the Bears play the Vikings. You saw the Bears play the Lions. Which team's better?
The Vikings.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But not by.
DVOA has the Lions 13th, Vikings 20th. You should actually be using this to your
advantage
overall point that DVOA sucks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Which just to clarify is his take, not my take. Now I'm helping you make your own argument.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
DVOA
DVOA is a BS stat that people have developed so they could claim that they're really smart at football and not be able to not actually have to watch football and tell you what's going on. I like Will Gottlieb. Where's Will Gottlieb? Get him in here. That dude can sit there and watch a play and break it down with the best of them.
Very good looking man.
Good. Very good. I
love Will Gottlieb.
A lot of people, it's just an extra tool. We still sit there and watch the games.
Not really.
Oh, you're right. I don't watch the games.
No. I'm not saying you. You'll sit there and walk over to me and watch this play and this dude did that and all this stuff that the average football. You are a football coach, a legit coach.
I don't know about legit.
You're on a staff with a former NFL player. This is one of the reasons. This is a Hoge separation factor.
But all I'm trying to say is you cross-reference everything I think I'm seeing with my eyes, and then I go check Football Outsiders DVOA and say, oh, does this match up with what I think I'm seeing? In this case, I'm not sitting here saying the Vikings are a real Super Bowl contender. I think there's definitely flaws to their 10-2 record this year, but 20th suggests they're not even a playoff team.
Right.
True, yeah.
Right.
You're telling me the Falcons are better than the Vikings? The Steelers are better than the Vikings?
They don't know their defense is 20th, not overall.
No, total DVOA.
Football.
I'm looking at it right now. It's 20th.
Oh, okay. My bad. That's correct.
That
I'm
includes the offense. Their offensive DVOA, they're 22nd. Isn't that surprising?
That's very You wouldn't.
They have Dalvin Cook. They have Justin Jefferson. They have Adam Thielen.
What?
They move the football.
Argue against yourself right now and say that the stat is flawed.
No, because honestly, there's...
Or do you just want to say that the Vikings aren't good and the Bears are going to crush the Vikings next year? You can say that. That would make everybody happy.
Well, or I could say the Bears are going to crush the Vikings in Week 18 and ruin the entire draft.
Yeah, don't do that.
Everyone will get pissed in this chat.
Back to the tank.
All right. Let's talk about Justin Fields, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay. So, Carm, there was a reason why in this world we live in where we all want to have our hot takes in the moment. When we heard post-game, Nick was there, Will was there, what Justin Fields had said about the first interception, and essentially saying it was the wide receiver who did not come back to the football, that I wanted to be like, okay, let's pump the brakes here a little bit. Context matters. The way he said it matters. A lot of different things matter here. The coach also said it, which counted for something. And then yesterday, Equinemius St. Brown said it too, that he could have come back to the ball better. So I think the conclusion to this whole mini saga, if I can call it that, over the last 48 hours is, at least in my opinion, I think this is actually pretty significant. Because the conclusion for me is Justin Fields has already earned enough clout as the team leader to be able to publicly
call out.
I don't want to call it a call out, but like I guess that's kind of what he's doing. He can publicly – no, that's actually the wrong word. Hold his teammates accountable.
That's better. I agree.
Okay. Publicly hold his teammates accountable, and everyone's like, yeah, he's right. To me, that's actually incredibly significant and important in the things that we're trying to check off as victories in a 3-10 season.
Well, I think it works. He's the best player on the team, right? And I think when you are that, you are the quarterback of the team, you should hold your other players accountable. I also think like Justin Fields has, I don't think he wants to go up to the media and like lie, not necessarily lie, but he's just straightforward with what he's saying. And with that play, it's like, yeah, he just needs to come back to it on that curl route. He's expecting that, but it's an anticipatory throw, and he wasn't where he needed to be. So I think for Fields, it's just who he is. But I don't see an issue with it. I really don't.
I didn't like it in the moment. I thought it was odd. It stood out, and it was definitely worth talking about. Congrats to the show for talking about it, along with a bunch of other shows. And I completely agree with you, for the record. I think it does show that he's been building up to having that level of respect for a long time. I think he completely stamped himself over the top with it when he goes in and apologizes to the defense after coming up short.
Yeah, that too.
And Eddie Jackson steps in and says, "You don't need to continue talking anymore." I think you're right. And I do think I just think it's also a big deal that EQ got up there and backed him. It felt a little more odd on Sunday when EQ left Soldier Field without speaking to reporters, which made you wonder. And so he was the first person there yesterday, and of course that nobody was expecting because the press conference was called for 1:45. EQ spoke before a lot of people were there, but he got, maybe he had to get out of the building, and so whatever, he got up there and backed his QB. I think it's a big deal, 100%.
I'm glad you brought up the apology to the defense, too, from a couple of weeks ago, because I had actually kind of forgotten about that as we were having this discussion. I think it's completely relevant to what we're talking about. Like, what you said earlier, Nick, and I don't think you were saying this, but you mentioned, like, how he's the best player. Mm-hmm. You can't just be the best player, though. Like, if Odell Beckham, back, like, in his Giants days, is the best player on the field, if he came out and, like, it's all on the quarterback, like, that's not going to go over well.
No.
Like, it's way more than just being the most talented player on the field. that's part of it. Like, you do have to perform to back up words, but it's other moments like that, like apologizing to the defense when you really don't need to, taking the blame when it is on you. And quarterbacks get to this point, the real ones, like the real leaders, the ones that have I always hate like bringing up Brady's name, but like he's been doing it for years now because he's earned that. And I'm not saying Justin's anywhere near that point, but the fact that he can even do this in year 2 of his career, I think and I'm already seeing this in the comments. This isn't even us right now discussing whether he should have done it or not done it. I agree that that's not really important. What I am concluding from this whole thing and telling you is important is that the way it played out was all good. Everybody was like, yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
That's important.
Well, and let's also underline, and sorry to go ahead and second it, but let me just make the point. I go out there once a week, and I think, unless I'm forgetting a week, but I don't think I am, every week that I'm there, he's the last dude in the locker room. Yeah. It's not just what he says, it's what he does. He's on the field after practice, working on his game, working with his teammates, putting in the extra effort. Guys, pay attention. They notice that stuff. It earns you respect.
It does, Mark. And the big thing, too, with Fields, like, he does hold himself accountable in these press conferences. Like, when he messes up, he lets you know, like, I could have been better. So when he holds someone else accountable, it's because, he's doing the same thing to himself. And I think that's big, that it's not just because he's a quarterback, he's, he doesn't have the same kind of weight that's put on him. But it's like, yeah, he holds himself accountable every single time he's at that podium. If he has a bad game, he'll let you know about it. So I think that resonates when he's, again, not calling out, but just holding guys accountable for the mistakes that have happened in games before.
And for the record, that's what we do on this show. I mean, when Hoge has a bad show, afterwards he talks about, hey, I wasn't my best day. I of course have never had a bad show, so I've never had to do that. and same thing with actually, Nick, you've owned it, and Lawrence too. So, but okay, back to reality.
You're having a great show.
But I mean, it's right. Are we? It sort of goes back to what I was thinking about, which did make me, kind of in a joyous mood coming into the show today. Like, yes, it sucks to be 3-10, but I swear, and appreciate the chat chiming in on this, but are we not having fun this year? Yeah. Watching this team, like, I just think every game has been, with the exception of the Jets of the Jets game, because Fields didn't play. Every game has
Commanders game was awful.
That one was kind of rough too.
It was awful, but it was highly entertaining.
But that was also before things flipped.
That's true.
I would actually say, okay, week 1 was a fun game.
You're right.
Splash.
Week 1 was a fun game against the 49ers. Just the whole situation. Yeah. Fields played relatively well in that game, I want to say. And then we went through some not so fun times there for a little bit. Like the offense wasn't working.
Yeah,
Houston wasn't a fun,
but it felt like they lost.
It's true. It's been so fun after the Commanders game that I forgot about every game before the Commanders game.
Yeah, it wasn't a good start to the season, but it flipped on that Monday night game against the Patriots. Like, it really did. And then and by the way, that's the only game that in this stretch that we're talking about that they won.
Right, 1-6.
It's been all L's since then, and yet I agree with you. This has been the most fun bad season I have covered, and I have covered a lot of bad seasons. And I did the math yesterday for some reason, but the Bears are, surprisingly, you'd think it's higher, 26 games below 500 since I started covering the team. I actually would have thought it would have been more than that.
It's still bad.
the going into that thing, the notes about that Kevin Kadek had in the Packers overtaking the Bears in overall wins and how bad the Bears have had to be to allow that to happen was just absolutely nauseating. If you're not checking out the allchgo.com Kevin Kadek newsletter, it was disgusting to read, but I highly recommend signing up for it because it really just bottom lined how bad dysfunctional it's been that we are now behind Green Bay. But brighter days to come, baby. They're going the other way, and we're coming up now. QB. Maybe.
Maybe. Like, got a lot of work to do.
Hopefully.
Which we're going to get into a little bit on this show. But yeah,
So you're 20 under?
26.
26 under. Sorry.
I didn't play in any of the games.
That's true, but sure, you've been talking, you've been writing, you've been impacting. You get
the Northwestern record though.
Yeah, you crushed that.
I had a great 6-year run.
Yeah, and now you've left, and they're just death.
See,
1-11
there.
The last 2 years, Hoge's been gone out of Northwestern. It's been
bad.
Yeah, they need you back.
You know,
I mean, I've got all your gear now, but they still need you back.
Not all of it. I got a lot. I did give Carm some Northwestern stuff last week. All right. Jaylon Johnson. Jaylon Johnson, Walter. I just wanted to quickly get this in here, too. He is the nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award for the Chicago Bears this season. Good player.
Good off the field, obviously, too. He spoke to the media yesterday, too, you guys, and in Aaron Rodgers' post-game press conference, he called him a premier player. And that's kind of stuff Jaylon Johnson doesn't take lightly. He knows that you don't just get thrown around a premier player from a guy like Aaron Rodgers. He was also asked about, like, hey, do you think you've had a Pro Bowl season? And he said no, but he also admitted, like, being a Pro Bowler is more than just being actually a good player. You need to make highlight plays, being a good team, things like that. But when he gets that kind of recognition from his peers, that's how he knows he's having a good season, or he's actually validating what he thinks of himself when you get those kind of comments, premier player. But, yeah, good for Jaylon Johnson and the nominee.
Yeah, I actually kind of an underrated thing that came up yesterday, I thought, at Hallis Hall was the idea of Jaylon Johnson being a Pro Bowler and, him acknowledging that you're not really going to get that type of
He had a great response. He's not flashy.
Yeah. I just thought Eberflus gave a great answer. Like, dude, if you want that recognition, you got to take the ball way more. And your unit has to be.
Yeah.
Which I assumed he was actually talking about the whole defense because the secondary has actually been pretty solid this year. But anyway, I just thought it was remember last week when we were talking about possible long-term Bears contract extensions, and I said that the problem with Jaylon is he's not picking the ball off. He's not creating the takeaways. You know how much these coaches in this franchise right now value that. I think that's a real thing. And same thing when it comes to the Pro Bowl and All-Pro honors. Like, I think he's a very, very good player, but you got to take the ball away if you want that type of recognition.
Okay, true, and forget about recognition. The dude's a free agent after next season. If the Bears don't extend Jaylon Johnson this offseason, they're making a mistake. He should absolutely be a part of their offseason spending plan. You want to lock that dude up. I think you want to do the same thing with Cole Kmet. I would make those two my priority 1 and 2 of people that you're going to keep going forward.
What about Mooney?
A little more dangerous. You coming off an ankle injury. I'd lean yes, but I'd feel. But you're talking about a dude who is incredibly reliant on his speed. I'd want to see how he comes out of this whole thing.
I would try to lock up Mooney. To be completely honest, I remember just the reaction from Poles when he got injured. Just dropping that F-bomb and then leaving. I think he wanted to. Obviously, that's a key guy for the offense for Justin Fields growing up. And I know, like Mark, again, want to keep him here, but that's going to help that wide receiver room because right now there's just not a lot of guys you can count on. Mooney.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the corner of not signing Mooney. I would definitely make him a contract offer. I just don't know if I'd be in the overpaying to keep him right now. Like, we absolutely have to get this done. Let's.
But you might not be overpaying. You might actually be getting him potentially with the, maybe the ankle injuries motivation for him to take that money now.
It's possible.
And I think that's a situation where also, like, this is a dude that went out and took the little money, and I shouldn't call it little because you're still getting paid nicely as a 5th-round pick, but you're not making first-round money. And he took that money they first got, and he went and bought a jugs machine. Okay? Doesn't come off like a guy who's going to be, like, putting his feet in the ground like, nope, you have to pay me this or I'm not re-signing.
Yeah, and talk about leadership and guys that are respected.
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney is right at the front of that list in that locker room. So Sure. I just feel like Jaylon, man, I don't care if he's not getting a ton of interceptions. That is a solid corner leader, good dude that you want in your locker room. I agree. So, but fine. Let's just say the three of them: Johnson, Mooney,
they have a bunch of money. They have a bunch of money next season.
Done. Let's go.
Sounds like a nice draft class there. Those three.
Okay, Ryan Pace.
Yeah. With Justin Fields and Tevin Jenkins coming the following year.
Can we get that guy back here? Let's go. I'm kidding.
Hey, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is my go-to when betting on the NFL this holiday season. Love the same game parlays. Love the easy and fast payouts. The player props are awesome. We bring them to you every Sunday before Bears games right here on our pregame shows. And right now, new customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Check this out. Right now, everyone can earn up to a 100% boost with DraftKings stepped up same-game parlays. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, place a same-game parlay, combine multiple bets like which team will win, player props, point totals, and more. The more legs you add, the bigger the boost, the bigger your shot to win big. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code CHGO. Place a $5 bet on any NFL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. I love DraftKings.
Makes watching a game a lot more interesting, that's for sure. Also, I have to tell you guys about Athletic Greens. With one scoop of your AG1s, you are absorbing
I love Athletic Greens.
High-quality vitamins.
Delicious Athletic Greens.
Minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help start your day off right.
I've actually never had Athletic Greens. All I do is drink vodka, Smirnoff, and turn it into urine. Go back to you. I should be having some Athletic Greens.
What are you talking about right now?
Yeah, what's going on here?
I'm doing my Hawk Harrelson.
Oh.
He doesn't. I don't think Hawk is a client of Athletic Greens. He should be. Get in there, Hawk.
I know, but then all of a sudden I thought you were talking about Braggs's
I thought that's where it's
urine bottle. Like,
no.
I don't know what Hawk reference you were making.
Greg's bottle's over there. That same green liquid.
You know what we should do? We should dump that out
and put some
clean
Athletic,
it.
Yes.
Put some Athletic Greens in there for him.
Agreed.
How do we know it's not Athletic Green? It's green.
Because it is not green. It looks like
Braggs needs some Athletic Greens.
It looks like the color of my sweatshirt.
Bad.
Which people don't like.
Here's why he needs Athletic Greens. Because the mixture of ingredients helps your immune system, gives you energy, and improves your focus. And that's why I take them, and Greg should too. What's awesome about Athletic Greens is that it costs less than a cup of coffee a day. Also helps support better sleep quality and recovery, which we all definitely need. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. What is Bragg saying in here? Why does this bottle keep moving? Quit touching it. Oh, it's on set. Sorry, Greg.
Bring it home.
To make it easy.
I'm going to move it out of the studio. I'm going to throw it out a window.
You have the door right there. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/CHGO Bears. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/CHGO Bears to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutrition insurance.
And while you're getting healthy and doing all that, it's probably a great time to become a CHGO diehard. Lots of benefits. The merchandise, the events, our diehard lounge, our diehard newsletter, our diehard happy hours. When's the next one, Hoge? Our diehard content is all taking you to the next level. It's also a great way to support us. We appreciate it. But we got some cool events coming up, including the Chicago Bulls takeover. Yes, they're 9-14, but yes, the schedule is softening up. You really tweet a lot about the Bulls, by the way. Nick is
It infuriates me. That's the one team.
You are really losing your mind over there. Stay balanced. They're fine. Maybe, kind of, sort of, could be. Zach played well his last game at 41. There's that. But bottom line, we're going to have a ton of fun. Coming up December 16th at the United Center, you get a discount on tickets. And by the way, the ticket prices for that game are very expensive, so we're giving you a nice value coming out.
Picked a hell of a game. Just Bulls-Knicks on a Friday night.
It's a great game.
That's an awesome game. And
are we all rooting for Derrick Rose? I'm assuming we are.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I could wear my Derrick Rose jersey.
You got to wear your Rose jersey.
I was going to wear Jordan.
That's a good call, too.
But do I go Rose?
You got to go Rose.
Oh, I love Derrick Rose.
Derrick. But yes, great, tremendous value for you when you become a diehard. And, so much that you can benefit from. The merchandise, of course, discounts and all that. All CHGO.com.
All right, before we get to my grades, the Titans fired John Robinson,
Really weird.
their general manager.
I think it's weird.
Yeah.
Timing is definitely weird.
Immediately comes off as a story that has to have more context. Like, there has to be more reasoning than just football. But so far, and it's only been like an hour, but Tom Pelissero tweeted that, like, they're not happy with, they don't think that they've done enough to win.
He's never had a losing season.
Yeah. They had the number 1 seed. I don't think he was playing in the game last year that they lost in the playoffs.
They have a 3-game lead in the division. They're a lock playoff team. I mean, can you ever imagine the Chicago Bears firing someone like that? Like, we'd kill for that.
I know. And it comes off as like, I don't know, maybe.
But shy 2001, you got it. It's like, right. They didn't get the AJ Brown deal done, and he's crushing, and it was in their face last week. So is that you're really going to fire somebody over one? I mean, come on.
Well, but that's the thing. It comes off as a very emotional decision.
Yeah.
Is the AJ Brown revenge game? He took it to you. It really does not look like the Titans haven't been on national TV too much this year. But I remember watching. Was that the Chiefs game? I think they were playing the Chiefs. Like, they just had nobody to throw the ball to. It seemed that way. And so I get it, but I don't get it because they're still
first in the
they're still first place. So I don't know if there's going to end up being more to this story or not, but it is wild. It's a very NFL thing, though.
I mean, he hasn't won a playoff game. We can say that, but
the Vrabel hire is great.
The Vrabel hire is great, and
they work well together. It seems. Maybe they don't. Maybe they didn't work well together. Maybe there's more to this thing. But between that happens. Sometimes we got to pick between a coach and a GM. They got. Look, I'll give the Titans this. They got a new stadium that they've announced. That's first of all, Nashville's just blowing up in general. Like,
I need to go. Never been.
Oh, Nashville's
Never
great.
been to Nashville, so.
Nashville's great. And even though that stadium isn't great, it's not bad either. Like, it's a very just
middle
suitable
ground.
stadium right on the river, right across from Broadway. It's a great location. You can walk across the bridge.
You been to the Ryman?
The Ryman?
The Ryman. That's the famous old school theater down there.
Oh yeah, no, I've not been there.
Lawrence, you know what I'm talking about?
I watched Sturgill Simpson play there during the pandemic. They live streamed a concert he did there, an empty Ryman.
Yeah.
Acme
Looked beautiful.
Acme Feed and Seed.
I saw
barbecue right across.
Yeah.
It's so good. You got to go. They always have live music. So good.
It's an interesting town, Nashville.
So I'm officially announcing my candidacy for Titans general manager.
There you go.
Get all the barbecue and live music you can get. No, weird move. So I just wanted to bring it up.
Yeah.
And bachelorette parties every weekend.
Yep.
It's a little out of control down there with the bachelorette parties.
Yeah.
Good for them. All right, let's get to the grades. Some common. Yeah, we're gonna have to make some edits.
Give me a second here.
All right,
I know they're right here.
That's all right. Well, I also wanted to, okay, before we get to the grades, because we got to correct something real quick. What is the Giants' Brian Daboll coaching note that you put in our rundown?
Did you? I did put that in there. So did you see?
No,
you did not see what.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be asking you.
Okay. Well, they ended up tying with the Commanders this week. The Giants.
Yes, they did.
Okay, and so Brian Daboll had the Giants had the football.
Yeah.
It's kind of at least in my mind, it's sort of a no-lose year for the Giants. You know, you can kind of go all in. It was 4th and 3 from the Commanders' 45. They're on the Commanders' 45 with 1:42 to go in overtime.
Okay.
What would you want your head coach to do at that point? You're in Washington territory. There's 1:42 left in OT. It's 4th and 3. What are you doing?
Yeah. Going for it. I'm probably going for it.
Yeah.
I want the win.
Yeah. Daboll punted.
Yeah.
He and I'm just, when we're doing the Daboll Flus comparison, I didn't love that move from Brian Daboll. That's all I'm saying. 4th and 3, go for the win, man. Yeah, okay, I get it. You might not get it, and then Washington can take the football and go 20 yards and kick a field goal, and you lose. But the whole playing scared thing right there and not trying to win the football game, I'm not in.
Now, just to play devil's advocate, because I did not see this game. I saw some of the highlights later, but was not watching the game. It was on at the same time as the Bears game. I do think you have to take in the context of what was going on. I don't know what the context is. When's the last time they had scored? I see that they had 0 points in the fourth quarter and overtime. Obviously 0 in overtime. Maybe he's not trusting his offense right there. Maybe the Commanders are in there. Remember, the Commanders have this amazing front seven, defensive line.
I get it.
There's a lot to lose by losing the game as opposed to tying. This is a team that they're going to be going. I mean, one of these two teams is going to get one of the last spots, because the entire NFC East is loaded right now. You're not winning that division. The Eagles are running away with it.
Right.
You're not getting second because the Cowboys are way ahead. So, and I believe these two teams play again in 2 weeks. Kind of a weird scheduling quirk. I want to say Washington's on their bye, and then they play the Giants again. They have back-to-back games against the Giants, which is really interesting. The Giants play the Eagles in between. So I don't know.
You could very fairly, I think, as you're outlining the whole scenario, you could perhaps, because that call was definitely not popular in the locker room. There's no way the offense didn't want to go for it at 4th and 3, and maybe the defense perhaps was like, okay, fine, you're not putting us in a great position, but I'm sure there's a lot of them like, hey, dude, we could have held him there if worse came to worse. Yeah. So he's making a very tough call. So I mean, you could flip it the other way and be like, that's super impressive that he was willing to do that. But on the surface, looking at that, I would have wanted my head coach to said, let's try to win the game, man. Let's go for the old. Let's go for the gold here versus trying to live scared.
I think it's also part of the conversation. They've only won one out of their last 5 games now.
Giants?
The Giants.
Which
the Giants, remember, at one point were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-1, right? They were 6-1 football team right there at the top of the NFC. Mm-hmm. Then they went loss, win against the Texans, by the way. That's their only win.
Right.
Loss, tie. So, things have kind of – I think the Giants have been exposed a little bit. And –
long NFL season, man. The Giants were a sexy thing, and people were down in the Bengals.
True. Yeah.
Cincinnati's won 4 in a row. They're beating the Chiefs again, and Joe Burrow looks like God.
Yeah.
I mean, they're back in the Super Bowl conversation.
Hey, Duke, I see your super chat. We'll get to it. We're going to take a bunch of questions. We took some on Discord earlier, too, so we're having a bunch of questions coming up, so we will answer your super chat here momentarily. Let's get to the grades, though, from the Bears' loss to the Packers. Look who's just here every week, it seems like. Jack Sanborn.
Did you see the Bears put a video out on him?
No, what'd they put?
So they do the player profiles. So it's 4 minutes with him sitting with Joniak. And
I probably heard some of that on the pregame show because they played.
I mean, I got to be honest. You might want to watch it like by yourself with a candle. It's so
Is it romantic?
It's so good. It is. If you want to fall in love all over again,
I'm sure Joniak loves his sand god.
He's like, what do you think of the jackhammer? And
I did hear that. They played that on the pregame.
And Sam's like, well, it's.
What if he was like, I hate your nickname for me?
He's like, I hope you run with it. And I'm like, Sand God. He prefers Sand God, JJ. But I did not know that there was things in there that I didn't know. I didn't know that he lost his father when he was 4 years old. So and that His mom was raising 3 kids and all that stuff, and he, the Bears went pretty far in this video. Butkus, Urlacher, the history of the linebackers, and now I'm like, this is an undrafted free agent. Your guy's been here for 6 games. You're putting
balling
him on.
Out though, Mark. He's balling out.
I got it. I'm all in, Nick. But I was like, wow, they're really racing to the. It's a good piece. They did a good job on it. It's on their YouTube page.
Well, and if you missed it, we had a big breakdown of Jack Sanborn's game yesterday. Corey Woot and I. People are okay. We got to address this. People don't like the small TV. Apparently, we got to move back to the bigger TV.
Okay. So
okay.
None of that. Okay.
We were doing. We have big TV. We have multiple giant TVs here at CHGO. We were trying to make it look better by going into our secondary studio instead of just the random wall over there that we watch the games on.
They don't care about what.
But they're like,
everything else.
what? You can't get a bigger TV, so I guess we're gonna have to move back to the bigger TV.
But that's where I work. I'm kidding. Yes, go back to the bigger TV.
There's 2 more over there. All right.
Big TV. We got you.
Justin Fields also. Great game for Justin. Despite the interceptions at the end, he ended up grading out very, very well. For me, it wasn't his best game of the season. It may have been from a passing standpoint, though. There's a couple. The Cowboys game and Dolphins game, I will be going back and watching at the end of the season to kind of separate what was passing versus running. But those grades were his 2 best games of the season, in my opinion. Still, really good job by Justin. Sam Mustipher, man. Check out tomorrow's newsletter. If you're a CHGO diehard, go sign up, allchgo.com. I talked to Sam last week. I talked to some of his coaches. He's gotten better. He's gotten better, and he deserves that credit. And there's going to be more of that in tomorrow's newsletter. But he had another good game Sunday against Packers.
So reading that.
Yeah. I saw a comment earlier, and I forget now who put it, but it was spelled SANDBORN. That is a loaf. We cannot have that on the show. You must spell his name correctly.
At this point, come on. You guys have been playing so well. You need to know how to spell his last
Respect
name.
the Sand guy.
I mean, Sand guy. There is no D.
The Sandman.
Let's be better. Come on.
All right, long-term starters. Interesting game because there ended up being a lot of guys that graded out pretty highly for a loss, but I guess they were winning for the majority of the game until it fell apart at the end. But Jaylon Johnson had a good game. Look at all the guys on the secondary. DeAndre Houston-Carson, Josh Blackwell, which you talked a lot about yesterday if you want to go back and hear that. Jaylon Jones is on this list. And then, the offensive line, too. Like, this was one of their better games from a pass protection standpoint, I thought. So we had Sam Mustipher in the blue chip tier, Cody Whitehair, Braxton Jones, Riley Reif all played well. Sample size on Alex Leatherwood was too small. And there was one play that actually he allowed a little bit of pressure. But kind of too small on that.
He had a great comment. I think it was in Adam Johns' piece in The Athletic. Yeah, it sucks losing, but I had a ton of fun out there.
Mm-hmm. Leatherwood did?
Yeah.
Oh,
I had a ton of fun out there.
It's been a long time since he was able to play. So
that's top 5 interesting guy to watch the rest of the way.
Yeah. And then the bottom tier, unfortunately, there is one offensive lineman on here. Tevin Jenkins has been great. But he did not have his best game on Sunday, including the 3rd and 5. That was one of those regrettable, 3rd and 5 run that everybody was upset about. I think they may have gotten it, or at least gotten in position to go for it on 4th down. Had he not, he basically just missed his block.
Eberflus talked about that play. Like, everyone was upset about the play calling after Harry's big catch. Like, they had a trap play called, and he's pulling on that one. He said if that's executed right, running back's most likely getting to the safety.
Yeah.
Getting up to safety position. But, yeah, I agree with you. Like, Tevin been really good at that right guard position. Yesterday was not his best game. Kenny Clark is also a very good football player, too. So,
yeah.
Just wasn't his
kind
best
of
game.
knocked. And we also don't know how much that back and hip is
True.
bothering him in certain moments, certain movements of the game. But if it is a limitation, then maybe we shouldn't have him pulling. Or maybe that's why he wasn't playing, before. So, anyway. And then Cairo Santos in an EQ, probably not too much of a surprise that they're on there this week.
Really? So, EQ's all the way down there? Because, EQ had a good game until he didn't have a good game.
Well, it wasn't just that play.
He had a block that he missed for Claypool, I know, where he was just indecisive. Jair Alexander had that tackle in the backfield.
He just didn't even go to block that guy.
I think he's indecisive.
It's like he had a brain fart and just like totally forgot what the play was or something. It was really weird.
He was looking good though to start. Like he had the 3 catches for 80-something yards, and then
he's cooking himself past Jair for a nice 56-yard bomb. I enjoyed that, but okay. Far be it for me to quibble with Hoge's grades. That would be a bad career.
Well, first of all, I know
Lawrence hates me today.
But just don't.
No, how could I?
He didn't burn Jair Alexander.
Jair burned himself?
Yes, he did. Go watch the play.
I understand.
It was a pump fake that he jumped the hitch.
They sit on those routes, those Green Bay corners.
Well, who set up the hitch?
Justin Fields. Jair had his eyes right on Justin. Justin pumped, boom, and then he went. I'm not trying to take it. I'm just.
He gets at least 3% credit for whatever he did.
Sure, he gets even more than that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jair hasn't had exactly the greatest year either.
No,
I had EQ down for two pluses, 1 minus, and 1 double minus, which would have been the interception. So
double minus.
Yeah, I was asking some prominent people yesterday about that play, and they were very much as to whose fault it was, Fields and EQ, and the text started out and it was 90% his fault, and by the end of the text, which was about 3 lines, it got to 100%.
You showed me that. That was hilarious.
So I don't want to out anybody, but I don't know if you'd even mind. But the point is that it wasn't a great moment for EQ.
All right.
I see some people are concerned about Cairo though.
That's a fair concern. I know that you're
a slump.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth paying attention to.
Absolutely. He's had, and it's not just. By the way,
but it's the extra point. He's only missed 1 field goal. Well, the one that got blocked.
Yeah, but you also
those extra points though.
Extra points, the kickoffs that went out of bounds against Detroit. Like it's a slump. It's a 4-game slump now that he's been in.
This bye week, I think, couldn't have come at a better time for Santos. Just get away, come back, finish these last 4 games strong, and then
his last good game was against the Dolphins. So Lions, Falcons, Jets. He was okay against the Jets. Packers. Yeah, so it's a 4-game slump. He's still a very highly graded starter for the entire season, though.
Yeah, calm down, Don Burr. We're not Cody Parkey and Cairo.
Hey, yeah.
So, no. I just said I was rooting for the Lions, buddy.
Yeah,
Don't be bringing up that name on here.
Cairo on one end of the spectrum is not to Robbie Gould status. On the other, he's nowhere near the Cody Parkey status. And if you're gonna side one way or the other, it would be towards Robbie Gould. He's been a really, really good, dependable kicker for the Bears now for a while. And you know what, Braggs? You want your Darrington Evans grade?
I think we should address JT.
Jerk.
J2K. Also, what changes do you guys want to see over the bye week? I think that is an excellent question, J2. My number one, just off the top of my head, is I'd like to see Alex Leatherwood play.
Yep. I actually I have an article up on All CHGO right now that you can go read, arguing that exact same point. With 4 games left and a former first-round draft pick, he got 10 snaps against the Packers. What are you losing out if you're? I mean, you want to see a guy like that.
I'll tell you what. I mean, Riley LaReef played well again.
He did.
He was solid in pass pro. Your quarterback's trying to develop. You don't want him taking shots because you have more. You don't want. They've already had an issue. What they're talking about right now is a coaching staff. And by the way, I don't disagree with what you guys are asking. You have to get this evaluation in at some point. I totally agree.
If he proves he can't do it, then okay, we'll pivot back. But go ahead. Yeah.
I'm just saying at the same time, and for the thing on Mustafa that's coming out tomorrow, I had a conversation with him about some of the pass pro issues, and as a unit, the lack of continuity has not helped. Not totally fully accurate, but a lot of times in the run game, like it's about individual blocks. When you're talking about pass pro, it's about working as a unit. Okay, the continuity, understanding, who's passing who off to who, which they've struggled at with times.
Yep.
And actually a couple times in that game the other day, they struggled with some stunts that were run on them. I'm not saying you don't do it because I agree they got to evaluate Leatherwood, but what they're talking about is Riley Reif has exceeded my expectations for what I thought he would give him this year. And he is the dependable veteran out there, and you already have a rookie playing at left tackle.
All of that is fair, but you did make an investment in Alex Leatherwood. This is a former first-round pick. He is seemingly back to being mostly 100% healthy if he's not fully there. So I don't want to put the quarterback in any further danger or any danger, period. But I do think you have to take advantage of these 4 weeks and find out what you got.
And real quickly,
so what are you gonna do? Bring Riley Reif back next year?
Yeah. Leatherwood's first 4 plays that he got into the game, you guys, all passing plays. So the first time he enters the game, they're trying to check out, hey, what can he do on that right side? He didn't have to block for a long time, but right when he got into the game, let's see your pass sets, see what you can do. Held up on those plays. And the 2 big passing plays, Alex Leatherwood's the right tackle on those plays. So,
all right. Nick had a good idea this morning, which was to take some questions going into the bye week from listeners, viewers, diehards. What we ended up doing to make it kind of a diehard thing is if you're in our Discord, and you should become a CHGO diehard. This is sort of the extra access you get for being a member. Our Discord lounge is a pretty good place to be. And we took a bunch of questions there, and we're going to discuss them.
Great.
Yeah. Now, to clarify, are these going to be appearing on the screen, or we're just reading them off?
They'll be on the screen.
Okay. All right. So what do we got? I'm kind of surprised.
I feel like there's ad breaks to do, personally.
Yeah, we should probably do that. Okay. Thank you.
That is true.
Lawrence.
This is why Lawrence is
MVP.
the best. MVP.
Let's see. I found mine, so I'm going first. And I'm talking about Shady Rays, you guys. They are premium polarized shades featuring world-class optical clarity, substantial durability, and styles catered to everyone in every lifestyle. The best part about Shady Rays, they have the most insane protection program in all of eyewear. If you lose or break your shades on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. And I was wearing mine at the CHGO tailgate last Sunday. Awesome pair of sunglasses. Even with that stronger protection program, they still managed to make quality that I can tell you from wearing is like any other expensive pair that I've ever owned. And Shady Rays customers seem to agree with over 200,000 5-star reviews. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is running their deepest deal of the season. Use code CHGO for 50% off 2 or more pairs at shadyrays.com. Buy one, get one free. You can get 2 pairs for as low as $54. Redeem only at shadyrays.com, where you can find all their newest and best shades.
Love Shady Rays, and we love our friends at FOCO, FOCO.com. Yes, you've got the best coverage for all the teams in this town, mainly because we're here. God bless CHGO. But hey, you want the best coverage on you: hoodies, slippers, signs, bobbleheads, everything in between. Get yourself hooked up with the merch and the collectibles at FOCO. Perfect gift for the football fan or any sports fan in your life. FOCO's got you covered with the hoodies, which you've seen us wearing, which are sweet. Check out FOCO.com or click the link in the description below. All non-presale items. Use that promo code CHGO. Get yourself 10% off. FOCO.
All right. And then our friends at ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, is committed to helping families and businesses in the communities we serve manage energy usage and lower energy bills. Now and into the future, ComEd offers a wide array of incentives on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, and public sector customers of all sizes across our territory. Customers can inquire about how to upgrade outdated lighting to energy and money-saving efficient LED lights. Learn more about network lighting to operate your lights through your mobile device and track your facility's energy usage and more. A lot of cool tools available. Incentives have recently increased for indoor, outdoor lighting, and networked lighting controls, making these projects even more cost-effective than before. Visit ComEd.com/poweringbiz, B-I-Z, right now to start saving money and energy. To start a project, contact ComEd at 1-855-433-2700. For more information, email businessee@comed.com or publicsectoree@comed.com. Beep, beep.
By the way, the Cubs show's coming up at 1:20, CHGO Cubs, and I'm hearing a rumor that the Cubs might do something.
Great.
Maybe.
They might.
Keying on the mic.
They could.
What a report by Mark Carman.
They might sign.
I'm hearing a rumor the Cubs might do something.
I'm hearing that the Cubs may or may not sign the shortstop, or may not sign two.
Multiple shortstops.
They might sign every shortstop.
Before we get to the Discord, let's hit the Duke since he threw us that $19.99.
I want to hit the
super
Duke.
chat.
I like the Duke.
Love you.
Anyone want to read it? Do you want me to read it?
Who do you like most in free agency? Is there more quality out there in defensive tackles or edges? Do you then draft Will Anderson or Jalen Carter, assuming no one offers a haul for your pick based on whatever need you didn't fill? Well, the answer to that last part is yes.
It is, yes. Deron Payne. I'm on the Deron Payne train.
That would Deron Payne, 26 years old, crushing it with the Commanders. I would be into that. The concern with, Washington's got a great defense. Is he good? Is he good as a Bear?
There's a lot of talent around him for sure.
Yeah.
But he makes.
And
a lot
he's
of
kind
plays.
of been a late bloomer, but that's okay. Like, players develop. But I think that also creates question, like, is it contract year? Is this a motivational thing? Some things.
He's physical, man.
Oh, he's a good player.
Yeah.
Bears need one of those guys for sure.
But yeah, we were actually having kind of a pre-show chat about this, like how free agency can impact your draft. Because if it's when you're that high into the draft order, you really have your list down to a few players, right? And it's like if you really target Will Anderson or you really want Carter, then that's like if you decide Jalen Carter's your future 3 technique and you have the number 2 overall pick, I mean, you got to do your homework to make sure the Texans are going to draft a quarterback because it is Lovie Smith and you never know he's going to take a defensive player.
True.
But if you're dead set on that guy being your 3 technique, then you probably don't spend the money on Deron Payne then.
But you need more than.
You need, yes, we talked about this. You need at least 3 guys, probably 4.
And the Bears have how many right now?
0.
0.
The
old, you know who I'd like to see play with some talent around him. Is
Justin Fields.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
But I think that Dom Robb can get there. I just think he can't do it by himself, and that's basically what you're asking the guy to do right now.
Yeah. Been a little disappointed with the rest of his season.
He's around the football more. I'm a big Dom Robb guy. And how's he going to spend the bye week? I'm going to spend it getting stronger. Like the guy's.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's a good answer.
I mean, he'll do this. He'll have the whole offseason. I'm still bullish on Dom Robb. I just think he needs a little help around him.
All right, let's get to some of these comments, questions that came in via our Discord. Great place to hang out before or after show every single day. Really, at any time, you can jump in there. This one from More to Score. Which of the offensive linemen currently on the roster are starting next year, and at what positions?
Great question.
I put Tevin Jenkins right guard, but other than that, you guys, it wasn't like, oh, this guy's a lock. This guy's a lock to be here.
Cody's
next
a lock. Don't you think?
He doesn't have any guaranteed money in 2023. I was looking at his contract. He signed that 5-year extension September 2019.
You still have dead money you have to eat if you let him go. But
he's been fine.
He's still playing as a starter. I wouldn't necessarily be in a hurry to get rid of Cody. If this was a different year where you have to get some cap savings, because they would save. I don't have it in front of me right now. Actually, I do have it in front of me right now. Good prep by me.
$9 million, 8.3. His dead cap is 8.3 next year.
Yeah, his dead cap's 8.3. You would save pretty much $5.8 million in cap space by cutting him, but you don't need to. You don't need that cap space.
You're not cutting Cody Whitehair.
And he's one of your captains. So I will go as far as to say I don't think it's a sure thing, but I would think that
he comes back.
I do agree. Tevin's a starter next year, assuming he's healthy. I think Braxton Jones is probably a starter. I think he's done enough this year to at least – I don't know that he's done enough that I'm like, no, I'm not drafting a left tackle. No, I'm not spending money on left tackle. I'm Braxton Jones to me is most likely starting on this line. He just may end up being a right tackle. We'll see.
I would assume that I would agree, and I would assume that he's going to spend his offseason doing what everybody on that line should be doing who's not Cody Whitehair's age. Cody's going to be 31 next year. Getting stronger, spending a lot of time in the weight room. And if you put 20 pounds of muscle on Braxton Jones, you might have a monster.
He's got the frame for it, for sure.
All right, next question.
Point is center, tackle, to your answer, as to what I think they're looking for.
Miller asks, fun one. All past Bears players are in their prime, and they're free agents. You can select one offensive player and one defensive player to add to our current roster. Who are you taking to help us win?
So I did this from like the 2000s. I know you can all pick like Walter Payton or things like that. Here we go. Brandon Marshall in his prime on the offense, and I'm taking Charles Tillman to go alongside Jaylon Johnson.
Why did you only do the 2000s?
Because
that wasn't the question.
I know. I was talking with Jake earlier. We're like, let's just go from 2000s on, and those are the Bears that I'm most familiar with too. So I picked the guys that I've actually watched, know most about. So I'm going Brandon Marshall and Charles Tillman.
I'm going to take the best defensive tackle and could have done it at defensive end that the Bears have ever had in 99, Dan Hampton on the defensive side of the ball. And then offensively,
add to this team right now.
I got it. I like your Brandon thing, but there's a lot that comes with Brandon.
Sure.
You know who I would take if we're gonna go back in time, just because I want to see him play and make this a fun game. I'm gonna rise up 40 and give me Gale Sayers in his prime, and let me see that, and let him return some kicks, and let me put that dude back there. That's right, Gale.
Why are you not saying Walter Payton?
Because I want to see Gale. because people who saw Gale, they compare him to Jordan, and I want to see Gale. That's what I'd like. Give me that playmaker, and he can do everything.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no,
All
sure.
right. I never thought you'd leave me Walter Payton, so I will take Walter Payton. Obviously. And even though it's not a position in need, he can do everything. He can catch passes, he can throw passes.
Yeah.
He can pass protect. Some of his pass pro highlights are amazing.
Sweetness.
Otherwise, since I thought one of you would definitely say Walter, the guy I was going to take offensively is Jimbo Covert. Give me a Hall of Fame left tackle.
That's a good one.
Help me protect my quarterback investment here. They need an upgrade there, so I'm going Jimbo. Well, I would have, but then you left me.
And so who's your defense?
Defense, I was also going to take Dan Hampton. I should have known that you were going to take Dan Hampton. So, yeah, Urlacher or
give me the sack man. Sack man's coming on your man Dent. You got to pay the rent.
Yeah, Richard Dent, I guess.
Damn right. Don't you forget it.
Here's the thing, though. This is how good Sanborn's been playing. You can make an argument that Lance Briggs is the one you need.
That is a weird argument.
Why is it weird? You need your weak side linebacker.
I mean, if you're gonna go that route, can we go Wilbur? Can we go Otis? Can we take a Super Bowl Bear?
Sure.
Take whoever you want.
You take whoever you want.
Mama's boy Otis, one of a kind. The ladies all love me
Wilbur.
for my body and my mind.
Love it, Mark.
I freak on the floor.
Noah in the comments brought up a great point. Prime Khalil Mack. That's pretty damn good,
Jake
too.
and I were talking about that. Prime Khalil Mack?
Was that one game for us?
Oh, right. It was basically Raiders Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
Or against the
2018,
Packers.
2018 Khalil Mack.
his first game against the Packers, I thought the guy was the greatest player that ever played football.
Yeah.
That was an insane game.
Did everything.
Insane game. All right. That was a fun question. Appreciate it. All right. Next one. 23 Breach. What is your personal favorite move by Ryan Poles this season so far? What is the least favorite? His favorite, trading Roquan and a cooked Quinn for a second and a fourth. Felt like cheating. Least favorite, signing Al-Quadi Muhammad for defensive end, complete non-factor, easy cap cut next year.
So can I actually dive into that, the Al-Quadi Muhammad thing? There is part of me, a very small part. Did Poles literally go out and think, what bad players can I sign so we can tank? Who can't play but won't embarrass the franchise? Let me go find Nicholas Morrow. Let me go find Al-Quadi Muhammad. Let me go find dudes who like, it sort of looks like we're trying, but we're really not trying at all.
I do think there's...
It's kind of like when the Cubs signed Edwin Jackson. People are like, oh, no. They signed the worst starting pitcher ever when they were trying to tank. I almost feel like Poles has strategically brought in bad players to ensure the tank.
Yeah. No, I mean, okay.
No?
Right when the show started, there was, I think the first comment that popped up after Bragg's was, what is Carm's hot take going to be today?
There it is.
You had to wait until 1:07, but you got it.
Show's over.
There it is from your guy Mubs.
What up, Mubs?
What's Carm's hot take going to be today? Yeah, usually you get it right there in the first segment, but you had to wait today.
You can't tell me that he thought those guys were good players.
Well, Al-Quadi Muhammad came from the Colts. That was an Eberflus signing.
Yep.
Okay.
That was Alan Williams and Eberflus just bringing in one of the guys that knew their system, so there was one less player they had to teach it to.
You telling me that Ryan Poles didn't know who the player was? It was like, yeah, okay, I'm cool with that guy. He's not going to do anything. Our tank is fine.
He was good at stopping the run in Indy.
Yeah. All right.
Not good now.
All right.
To answer your question seriously, favorite move is obviously signing Jack Sanborn after the draft was over.
That's a no-brainer for you, yes.
Yeah.
Good one.
Least favorite move. I hate doing this because it's total hindsight, and I was for the trade the day it happened, but the Claypool thing's not really working out.
That's
Let
right.
me rephrase that. I don't want to say it's not working out. It's not over yet. But right now, when you weigh how high that second-round pick's going to be versus what you've gotten from Claypool so far,
it sucks.
it's not great right now.
It sucks.
It could end up working out. I hope it does. But
I'm on that side of it. I still have to see more. It's still too early for me to
count out
Claypool.
if it was
right
the
now.
Ravens pick, I would have been like, I would have no problem with it whatsoever. But the fact that that's going to be like the 33rd pick
It's high.
sucks.
I just, where I'm getting bogged down on that thing is, and I understand they weren't going to pay Roquan, but I don't know, man. Roquan and Sanborn together versus Claypool. It's not the same pick. I understand that we're trading our pick, but like I think that trade was made a lot more palatable for Poles. Excuse me,
Dollar jar.
That's a dollar jar. For Poles because of the Claypool deal. I don't know,
Dude, your Edwin Jackson comp was pretty good. Robert said Edwin Jackson was a workhorse.
Yeah, he
But
was. He wasn't. You could just throw him out there every
Like-
5 days, and he was going to be bad. He was going to be bad.
Al-Quadi Muhammad kind of is just your innings eater right now.
Right.
He's just eating up reps.
It's just, I mean, he's literally out there just to run into the offensive lineman and do nothing. He doesn't even try. If you watch him, he's like, "Is the play?" It almost looks like he's like, "Is the play over yet? Can I stop?" Okay, good. I'll go back over here.
All right. Take it easy. The guy is trying.
Okay. Big news. All right.
What happened? Is it Cubs?
No. I was on the wait list for the rated R spin class ride, and somebody dropped out, and now I'm in.
Wait.
What the fuck?
Wait.
What are we
What is rated R spin
I don't know.
class?
I've never done it. I'm fired up. What is this?
Like a movie?
Are you like naked?
I don't know. I'm in. Whatever it's gonna be. Let's go.
Oh my God.
Rated R spin class.
What is rated R spin class?
I think it's more. I assume it's more songs that have lots of profanity versus everybody gets naked. But hey, I'm up for anything. Let's go.
Do we have a Cubs show at 1:20?
Very much so. So we
Okay,
got one
should
last
probably get
question.
out of here. Matt Gregory asks, did you guys give your least favorite
Where's
moment?
Lucas Patrick?
Oh,
I like the Lucas Patrick.
I know, I
signing.
did too, but
all right. Matt Gregory says, what's been the most promising and least promising thing you've seen from Fields this season? To me, it's the most promising is honestly the growth I've seen in the passing game. I know people want more. It's been there, though. You look at small things like a slight uptick in his speed. His ability to read defenses is already light years ahead of Mitch Trubisky's. Small little things like when the other day, he avoids pressure from his right side. He holds the ball with both hands, rips his shoulder down to get it away from those defensive ends that are swatting at it. He is more polished than he gets credit for. So with so much room to grow is the exciting part. The least favorite is
his slides.
Still slide, right? I mean, I think he's gotten better at it later.
Yeah, I still think he locks in too much. It's definitely hasn't completely gone away, is what I would say. But pick a move, any move where he just looks like Barry Sanders, it's just so much fun.
Yeah, and the reason I'm not saying the fourth quarter struggles is because, dude, look, the guy threw the touchdown against Washington. Should have been the game winner. The guy hit
Equanimous on that.
Who was it that got the PI against the Dolphins?
Oh, Claypool.
Or should have been PI against the Dolphins. They didn't call. He threw that pass.
He ran 50 yards against the Vikings.
And then
that got called back.
Loser from Iowa decided.
He had the touchdown against the Lions, and then EQ dropped the ball.
Completion, Amir Smith-Marset. They were driving.
Yeah. He fumbled it. I don't think the fourth quarter struggles are fair to put on him.
It gets put on him because of the quarterback. But
and that's part of the territory. But
Yep.
All right. Was that it? Yeah, I think it was.
That was it.
Okay, we are out of here. Appreciate everybody jumping on today. We are back tomorrow as well. Bye week rolls on. # no days off, even during the bye week. We're here for you. We'll continue to break things down. Tomorrow, we're right back here at noon.
Full rated R spin class review will be on the show tomorrow, so don't miss it.
Yeah, I do have to hear about this. Okay. Follow Nick at Nicholas Moreano.
Bye, Mubs.
Mark Carman at the Carm, at Adam Hoge. Lawrence. Thanks for smiling.
Yeah.
Thanks for smiling today, Lawrence.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, bye.